Okay, so
Tyler's yelling.
Merlin and I have decided that we are going to alternate who gets to do video. So today is my turn to do a video. Do you have any idea what we're talking about?
Nope.
For those of you who don't speak Idahoan, nope is no or no.
Right. Couldn't, wouldn't, didn't.
Oh my heavens. Look at how atrocious my hair looks. I need to go fix this. It looks, okay, I've been working today. Okay, so.
You worked. I finished Tyler's lawn for him.
So I just want you guys to know. Did you have to say that? That's embarrassing.
I was just helping because I'm not good of a friend.
One day I hope to be a big boy. And
I hope one day you'll be a big boy too.
And mow my own lawn in its entirety. Okay?
So.
Like I had to stop and get a drink. Had to take a little nap.
And your lawn takes a whole 15 minutes to mow?
Well, that's because my house is on a posted site. Okay, who gives a flying crap? Okay, so I have decided this is something that I have never told anybody. So I got some news back that I have not shared with anybody.
Not even me?
Mm-mm.
Oh, what's the news, Tyler?
So when you are a treasured trove of a treat and you say to yourself, never again, Jesus, am I ever going to do anything wrong? And then
the temptation comes?
The temptation is just too great. So, when you are single and you try to do when you try to do your best, occasionally you have to go get tested. Which, did you know, that's actually, Merlin and I actually met in the lobby. That's where we met each other.
Not.
She was getting tested. I was getting tested. And when she came out and she's just like, whoa, I'm clean. Like, I knew she was the one.
You're such a dork.
I'm like, that is my co-host.
My lawn care lady.
Are you kidding? Does she even look like, does this look like a woman that even has sex?
Oh my gosh.
She hasn't had sex.
Is that a compliment?
She hasn't had sex since 1999.
Yeah, something like that, pretty much.
Okay, so I got to do quick because we're coming up to that 6-minute mark awfully fast. And that's when I know whether my video or our video is terrible or not. Mm-hmm. Okay, so I got tested. And I have a problem.
Oh, no.
Yeah, guess what I have?
What do you have?
I got an STD.
No way.
I did.
Are you freaked out?
No.
Okay.
So here's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the STD that every man potentially has.
And has no idea about.
And has no idea. And you want to know what that is? That is the STD of a man's behavior. Seriously, I'm going to liken the behavior of men, women, ladies, future wife, baby. I don't really have an STD, okay? But.
I figured you didn't because you would be freaking out.
But. Oh, I would be freaking out.
You would be freaking out.
But I will say, I am going to liken the typical male's behavior to that of an STD. So what is an STD? It is a sexually transmitted disease, which I honestly feel like is congruent with the behavior of a lot of men. And I feel like that a lot of men are STDs.
Ooh. Uh-huh.
So,
I like where this is going.
Men, okay, I am talking to you. Okay, I don't have like a single male friend on my Facebook. So this has got to be to Merlin's really.
I don't have very many single male.
This has got to be to Merlin's really.
3.
Okay, you know what?
3.
This is then, okay, I have a challenge. If you have, okay, if I have a single friend out there that has more than 3,000 friends.
Ooh.
And if you have more than 3,000 friends and you are a girl, a woman, okay, with a lot of single male guy friends, I challenge you to share this video.
Okay.
So now we have the charge to make this a damn good video.
Okay.
So why would you think that I would compare the behavior of that of men to that of an STD?
The first thing that comes to my mind is just because the attitude and the behavior then spreads. It spreads to those people that you're around. You spread that energy, you spread that disease of an attitude around. You spread then the hurting of someone or the playing of game with someone, that then they're going to turn around and do it to the next person and do it to the next person.
Okay.
Do it to the next person. And it becomes just this poison.
Like a domino?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that what I have experienced is I have experienced a lot of single people who really I feel like are trying really to do their best. Okay. Mm-hmm. Now, I will say their best is relative.
Exactly.
Okay. Now they may say, well, my best is I can go a couple of days and not have sex. Mm-hmm. You know, they may have a hypersexual addiction. They might have whatever it is. But my point is I think most people are really trying to do their best.
I agree.
But, and I use that word on purpose, but is the best good enough? When you stop and think about how we behave as singles, like when I meet people, you know, it seems like, or when I talk to people, like when I talk to my friends, because people that I date, they don't really usually tell you the truth. I mean, I think some do, but they're not but my friends are the ones who, like the people that I talk to are the ones that's just like, oh yeah, I just met a guy and you know what, we had sex, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. Met a guy, we just had sex. Met a guy, we just had sex. And this usually goes pretty quickly. Like I kind of feel like that when you meet a guy, usually you get to having sex probably within like what, 3, 4, 5 dates. I mean,
guess it depends.
Well, no, I agree, but I'm saying I feel like that honestly, when you have the engagement of sexting and you have the engagement of the meat and you have the engagement of the raging hormones, remember that video?
Sure.
But anyways, when you have all of these things that just line up.
Well, and what it's lining up is it's lining up the neurotransmitters in your brain and all of the excitement and all of that. And so, yeah, it's boom, boom, boom.
So my point is I feel like it sets us up to exhibit behaviors that are just not that fantastic.
So what do you do about it?
What do you do about it? I think what you do about it is you create an awareness. I think that you say to yourself, you know what? I think women can have this problem too.
Well, and I think just as much as you can, you know, as you say, create an awareness, just as much as you can spread a disease, you can spread the opposite.
Okay, and I agree with that. But see, and that's I love that, because you know what? For me, okay, for a man that has fallen short myself, mm-hmm. okay, I'm not like you. I don't have cobwebs anywhere on this. Okay, no cobwebs.
Thank you. Okay.
I'm kidding.
Oh man.
Totally joking. But you know, I feel like that, you know, as a man that has slipped up myself, you know, I feel like that like I have to say to myself, so you could say, okay, Tyler, well, because really we have to relate this to the only people we know, and that's us. You could say, well, Tyler, what are you doing to not have sex? Right? And that's really hard, because I came out of a relationship where we never had sex. You know, it's not like I've ever really had sex in my
mm-hmm.
life. So, you know, that's what's really challenging is, you know, the fact it's like, okay, well, what am I doing? Because the reality is I'm not doing enough. Why? Because Tyler Victor is an STD.
Tyler Victor, do you need a life coach to help you think
forward? No, I need a co-host that can help me create a damn good video.
Well, you've got that already.
Okay. So, seriously, did you hear what I said?
I did.
Tyler Victor is an STD.
Mm-hmm. So what behaviors do you think that you need to change?
I think what you need to do to change that is to say to yourself, okay, how do you make Tyler Victor so he's not an STD?
So what's the answer to that?
The answer is to that, you know what, grow up. The answer to that is realize that, you know what, people are going to get hurt if you're not careful. The answer is realize date with purpose. I did a post. Exactly. I did a post quite a while ago. The post was, if you were going to marry the next person that you dated, mm-hmm. what would that set you up for? Okay, if you knew the next person you were going to date, you had to marry, right?
Ooh,
you're just like this next person I'm dating, I have to marry. what would that do? What who would you say yes to in dates? Who would you say no to? So I feel like that we have to look at these things really in a very somber and realistic way and say to yourself, okay, Tyler, because ultimately I want to say to myself, and I think most people do, ultimately we want to get married. Mm-hmm. Like, or be in a relationship. I shouldn't say married. Not everybody wants to be married, but ultimately we want to be.
Do.
I do, mm-hmm. but I would say that ultimately the majority of people want to be in some kind of a committed relationship where they're just like, you know what, he loves me, she loves me. It's monogamous for the most part, most people.
Right. So how then are you going to hold yourself accountable to that? Like, are you going to hold yourself to the accountable of I'm going to date people like that are marriage material?
I've tried to look at it that way. It's hard.
It is. And I think too, like, that's why we have dating. You have to take a step back. We have dating to get to know somebody, but I think within 3 or 4 dates and all the talking and texting that can go on, you can gather pretty quick if that's a marriage material person. Because on a first date, you're honestly not, I can know on a first date. I don't know about everybody else, but I know on a first date definitely if there's a no.
So how am I going to not be an STD?
Yeah.
Like that's
how are you going to hold yourself to that standard?
That is truly a really interesting question to say, how does Tyler Victor make it to where he is not an STD? Like honestly, when I think of it in terms like that, that's kind of a somber thought. Because you want to know what? Like the one thing that I can tell you that I am the one thing that has been the saving grace for me and being really careful as much as I have been. Okay, I could have done better. As much as I have been, as I am so absolutely petrified of STDs. Like when I tell you how petrified I am, like I just want to pull out my magnifying glass and just be like, baby, I just got to go down and do some inspections real quick. Like it's nasty. And you want to know what? You want to know what the best form of STD prevention is? What's the best form, do you think, of STD prevention?
Oh, abstinence.
Abstinence is the best. There goes our light. Okay? If you guys knew how poorly paid our stage crew is, like this guy behind us, he can't even hold the light. He's just like, guys, I'm not making enough for this.
I have a cheap co-host. It's okay. We'll get there one day.
You do have a cheap co-host. Okay, so you know what? This is going to be an unresolved video.
We're going to check back in a couple weeks, see how you're doing.
We
could just, let's everybody can hold Tyler accountable.
That's fine. I would honestly like comments. Like I would like comments from, because I know there's a lot of single people out there. I know there's single people that are seeing these videos. I would honestly love comments to where I would love to have our audience weigh in to say, okay, what could Tyler Vic? You know what? I'm going to get roasted.
I think it's your
But
turn.
it's okay. You know what? I got this. What can Tyler Victor do to not be an STD? And I'm going to take this to all of our fantastic, fabulous, Simply Us fan base.
I want to hear from all the men who aren't an STD. And what do you do to not be an STD? Maybe you can help out Tyler. I know that there's...
This makes me sound like I'm a little man slut.
Well, I know that you're not a man slut.
I've only had sex twice today.
I'm
kidding.
I'm glad I loss of hearing.
Okay, let us know. Let us know what I can do to not be so douchebaggy. Another quality video brought to you by Tyler Victor.
And Simply Us.
We love you guys.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.